So why make the journey to a remote island off the coast of Wales? Well, in short, this. If you haven't watched episode 1, then go and check it out in the link below, but for those of you who did, here's a brief recap. My friend Dan and I took a trip over to the island of Skocum with the aim of convincing him that British wildlife can be just as thrilling as that which you'd find in the rainforests of South America. We nearly missed the boat, met some awesome people, and encountered some rather chilled puffins. All this meant that Dan was convinced by the end of day 1. Luckily though, that wasn't the main reason for our trip. Historically, the island was used to farm chinchilla rabbits, which of course were introduced by humans. Over time, the large black-backed gulls on the island learnt to predate them and take advantage of this new food source, which means this behaviour is incredibly rare. When we saw this clip filmed by Irene Mendez Cruz, a wildlife filmmaker friend of ours, we of course had to make the journey over. And now we had the rest of the trip to not only try to see and capture this behaviour for ourselves, but explore the rest of this incredible island. Though all of this of course meant making the most of every hour of light.
So, we just got up for day 2. The plan is wake up, head straight down to the puffins for sunrise, make the most of the light, come back, have breakfast, and then depending on our state, catch up with a bit more sleep while the light's a bit contrasty, and then maybe head out and try and capture some black-backed gull predation. Oh, I could have stayed in bed so easily. You ready, Dan? Have the kicks. Come on. It's time to get up.
That looks so nice.
Whoa, look at that.
We headed down to the cliffs where we knew puffins were in order to try and make the most of the sunrise. Unfortunately, when we got there, cloud cover had set in. Although the light was pretty boring, I did manage to capture perhaps my only ever photo of scientific interest. After initially not thinking much of it, this rather plain looking photo turned out to be evidence of the earliest hatched pufflings ever recorded on the island, in Pembrokeshire and potentially in Wales. And yes, baby puffins are called pufflings. Of course, this may have changed by now, but at the time it was really quite exciting. Having said that, it was also a little sad because the early nesting was potentially a result of climate change. Seeing as we got up so early to try and catch the good light, by the time the sun had risen fully, we were ravenous and headed into the communal areas to fuel up for the day ahead.
So I'm on make a broom duty while Dan's on cooking duty this morning. What's the time?
What's the time?
Yeah.
It is 20 past 7.
20 past 7, we've been out for a good couple, 2 or 3 hours, really.
There's nothing better than good food wherever you are.
Looks bloomin' lovely. After breakfast, we headed out to explore the cliffs on the far side of the island, but were stopped in our tracks when we came across 2 highly qualified volunteers who were in the process of helping to monitor some of the island's bird life. So that was all a bit of a whirlwind. We just had the opportunity to photograph the very same black-backed gull that I've been trying to photograph hunting, number 74, the one that everyone says is vicious and an absolute expert in capturing rabbits, the one that I have been trying to photograph and will still be trying to photograph for the rest of my time here. To get up and close to one is absolutely amazing, the biggest gull in the UK. The reason that they were doing it is so that they can actually monitor the species much better. With anything in conservation, the more information you have, the better job you can do. The reason they ring them is so that they can track things like whether they switch breeding partners, whether they come back each year, where they actually go, how old birds are, everything like that. One of the chaps, Eric I believe his name was, actually came out and showed me the old records and when it was first caught, and we were able to look at all sorts of data and found out that it was an adult bird that had been caught back in 2016. It's really interesting, so it tells them that that bird has returned to a nest site here. Ooh, a little wren. Sorry, I still get distracted. It turns out there's quite a lot of research and studying done on the island. As someone who promotes the avoidance of disturbing wildlife, my ease with all this could come across a little hypocritical. But the truth is, sites and studies like these are vital. The more information we have on anything, the better equipped we will be to deal with any issues. If we don't know where the problem is or how it's caused, then how can we fix it? Each time one of these birds was captured, the amount of data and the speed at which it was collected was incredible. It was all done so quickly and with the birds' welfare as a top priority, which really showed. After this unexpected experience, Dan and I went our separate ways to explore more of the island, and I managed to find a little gem of a spot.
This seems to be the best spot I've ever seen in my life for seabird photography in flight. You've got like this little bay down here. Look, there's one just there, Fulmar. Fulmar is the reason, but I'm really excited. Well, that was the end of day 2. I'm now heading back for was gonna hopefully be a lovely dinner. We've also decided that Dan's gonna cook most of our dinners, and I will be a pot washer. Oh, what's that? Basically, Dan's a better cook, so work to your strengths, don't you? Right. Hopefully, tomorrow we'll hold something just as cool.
As day 3 dawned, we decided to get a couple of extra hours sleep before layering up once more and heading out. But this time we decided to split up and go to opposite ends of the island to try and increase our chances of capturing the rare gull behaviour.
Dan, I am heading off to get 74.
Cool, I'm going to go that way.
And
to
get
another one.
75. So, I've got the rest of the day to do it. I'm a lot closer to home, I realise, so if I want a cup of tea, I'll just walk.
This isn't fair.
I just realised. You're a good 10-minute walk? Is it a 10-minute walk?
No.
I mean, it's still not miles,
That's
you're on a
fine,
small
because
island.
you can have tea, but I'll come home with the goods.
Oh,
that's
the
the
banter,
true
the game is on.
Exactly.
Right,
Well,
come on,
let's
74.
be honest.
Come on.
I'm going to get a chuff killing a gull.
Get a chuff killing a gull. Right, see you later. Good luck, man. Good luck. Right, so as he said, I'm on my way to... See you later. I'm on my way to try and film and photograph number 74, the notorious 74. I'm going to try and plant myself there, which is between the two fields. And that way, if it makes a kill in either, I should be able to see it. Anyway, so the plan is to set up here, be nice and quiet, keep a very low profile, and hopefully capture these gulls hunting, which would be amazing. I thought I'd been having a very unprolific day. Well, I have been having a very unprolific day. However, I started to get a bit depressed because I thought my lens was broken. Every shot was coming out soft. I know the wind is really making things cold quite right now, which is why I've got all these layers on. However, when you're right down to the ground, it's really quite warm. Like, you can feel the heat on the grass, and I think that's making all the images soft, which has left me with a bit of a dilemma. Do I abandon trying to get shots of the blackback gull at the moment and come back first thing in the morning when it's nice and fresh, or do I stick with it? It's quite a tricky one, if I'm honest.
It was mid-afternoon by the time Dan and I met up again for a cuppa. We decided to take a short break and wander down to check out one of the cliffs that we'd yet to explore. Whilst there, we bumped into a couple of wildlife artists, one of whom, Julia, had captured our interest the day before with tales of her wild encounters on the island and her clear passion for this place.
Ink up each block and put them back together again on the press.
Oh, I see.
So they lock together.
So hopefully we'll get to go and visit Julia and see the real impact that this place has on people. And for me, I love it. Like, it's had a real impact on me. I wasn't expecting it. I've become fascinated with the people of the island, and I say of the island, the people who visit the island, and the impact it has on them and their lives. So Julia's come back loads of times, and is a printmaker, so she's just said we can come and visit and see her final prints from this scene. So it'll be amazing to see a brilliant artist like her turn this, what I'm seeing now, in the moment that me and Dan have had here, into a final piece.
After spending some time chatting to Julia, Dan and I hung around the cliff a little longer to capture some footage and take advantage of the fulmars swooping repeatedly in front of the sheer cliffs. Whilst Dan made the short walk back to get biscuits and batteries, I focused on trying to get some panning shots, and after many failed attempts, some of which just missed the mark, I managed to come away with a couple that I was really happy with. One was an abstract looking shot that made full use of the highlights on the cliffs behind, and one in which the head of the fulmar was sharp with the darker sections of the cliff as a backdrop, helping the bird to stand out. I was pretty happy with these two shots, and it was a good thing because Dan was about to deliver some frustrating news.
So here's something quite depressing. Dan just went back to get batteries and came back and said, guess what we missed? Number 74 caught and ate a rabbit. Apparently there was a proper fight on and everything.
Dragged it out of the burrow twice.
Oh, it's so depressing. This is such rare behaviour.
We've got one more day.
Literally, dawn till dusk is going to be spent at that spot.
Oh yeah.
Can't believe that. I cannot believe that. We've got one more full day to do it, and it's going to mean sacrificing the whole day, even if it means no shots tomorrow. Sunrise straight through to sunset. I'm not moving from that spot, except for lunch, obviously. But
We're gonna get it. I have faith. I have faith.
oh, all right, let's go. Incredibly, on the walk back, we found number 74 with the rabbit it's caught. It's halfway through eating it. It's incredible to see. It's really go for it. It's clearly not built to be like an apex predator, really. It hasn't got those massive talons or hooked beak that birds of prey usually use to rip meat apart. So it's taken a while. It's having to sort of shake the meat off. It's amazing, really. But I'm getting some wicked shots and footage, so hopefully I'll show you that now.